Hi everyone. I think that is me going live. Hi, I'm Lisa Newman, and I set up this group a few weeks ago now, and welcome to the new members. If you are new to this group, maybe check out my introducing myself, and then you can get a little bit of an idea as to who I am and a little bit about my backstory and why I've set up this group. And just as a reminder, predominantly I set up this group as to provide a platform and community for predominantly those in recovery, but that's not exclusive to. There's a lot of people on here that aren't in recovery but want additional health and well-being and just up-leveling their way that their relationship with their body, maybe their relationship with food. They might not identify themselves as having somebody with an eating disorder or disordered eating. They might have other health issues. And so it's my hope that I create a space for you to be able to share tips and tools and have a platform where you guys can learn and grow and connect and not feel alone. Yes, and today's subject is, and I did a post earlier on, and it is on strength. And strength and mobility really go together. And if you haven't already read that post, I put up some information about how much doing strength work, and I don't mean you don't have to be massively lifting loads of heavy weights, but doing some kind of strength work, even if it's yoga or body weight, how much it can affect our mental well-being. And then that can build resilience, and it can create new neurotransmitters which can just help us cope with life's stresses at the moment. I've been getting a lot of messages from people on this group and in my community and in recovery who are really struggling with anxiety at the moment, and with the lockdown easing and what to do and what's okay, and it's affecting the way they're breathing. Some of them are, their digestion is affected, and then suddenly gyms are opening, and then there's the pressure of like, oh my God, I want to go to all the different classes and groups and get back into this. An overwhelm can happen. So I wanted to just jump on and discuss, and if anybody's got any questions who's watching, or if you're watching on replay, just write some questions about what we can cover here and how we can integrate small tiny habits into our daily life that can just help us build our body's strength back again. And in the earlier post, when I talked about strength training, I shared a bit of my story that I've always been a bit like, oh God, you know, I don't like gyms other than the cardio machines. I'd go on the cardio machines, run, sweat. It was all about burning calories and trying to lose weight and being a really small body. And that was my aim. And then in my late 20s, I got told I had osteopenia, which is a bone density problem. It's when your bone density is deteriorating. And I got told that I had the bone density of a 6-year-old. I shouldn't laugh because it's not funny. But, and that was as a result of so much control and restriction and keeping things really, really, in my mind, super clean, but it's orthorexia. Orthorexia is when you are just restricting. Everything had to be pure and organic and not a way to live, actually, clearly, because my health was being compromised. And then this time round in recovery, I came in after having almost lost my leg. My knee was really, really bad. I wasn't walking properly. And I was very aware that my health and my limbs and my body and my strength really, really mattered to me. And so I started a different kind of journey with my relationship with exercise. And And it's something that I would encourage others to do, is find different ways to move your body or to find strength or to mobilize that feels good. And that's why I go on about mindfulness and intuition and zoning into what our bodies needs. And I soon discovered that actually certain weight training or certain classes where I'm using my body weight in a different way. Yes, I've done yoga for years, but doing it in different ways made me realize I quite like that feeling when you almost go through that level of pain where you think, I don't think I can do this anymore. I'm not sure I'm going to survive this anymore. And yet you do. And I think that I then started looking into the neuroscience and the people out there that are talking about this stuff. And there's a strong link between doing things like that and how it can help build resilience and how it can help shift certain levels of trauma, because our bodies store a lot of trauma. And yes, breathwork works, and yes, all the other therapeutic things that are out there are essential in the journey. But being present in our body and learning how to be able to appreciate the strength in our body also is a good way of training our brain. And so, like, how can we do this? How can we do this in tiny ways? And my little tips is to start small. And Dr. what's he called? Dr. Chatterjee, he has written a book about integrating tiny habits. And one of the things he suggested is that tag it onto something that you're already doing. So when you're boiling the kettle, do a few squats. If you're limited in your mobility, if your squat is a semi-sit, as if you're sitting down onto a seat, do that. And then, you know, find ways in which you can use your body weight to start moving it a little bit more every day. Like, some of you might be gym bunnies and watching this going, Lisa, I go to the gym 5 times a week and lift heavy weights. This is not for me. We'll share. It would be really good to hear how those benefits help you with your mental well-being, and maybe how you've been able to cope with stress. And some of you on here know that when I was caring for my dad, and as he was a really fit, healthy guy. He was still climbing mountains right up until maybe 2 years before he died. And even when he was limited in his ability to walk, we got him some little weights. And he used to talk about how, having done 10 of those, he would feel more energized. And you could tell that it would strengthen him from going a bit down on himself and a bit negative and feeling a bit trapped, to suddenly feeling a little bit more, I don't know, within himself and connected. So yeah, tips are find little ways in which, even if you're at the desk, and what you can do in terms of push-ups. So push-ups, sit-ups, planks, these are all really, really simple things that you don't need a gym. You can do it at home. You're using your body weight. And yeah, see how you go. Now with a push-up, it's really hard to do a full push-up, but you can use the side of a desk, even if you're not using the floor, or use a wall. So try finding different things. I keep having little notifications pop up here. And discover and appreciate, and when you're doing it, tune into the gratitude of what our bodies can do. So if anybody else on here has got other suggestions around strength, there's so many things out there at the moment. I am going to be getting a few people as guest speakers on. I've got Vicky Martin here from Stroud, who's going to be coming on as an interview, and she's done 20 years of PT training, and she can maybe help refine, because it's really good to get your form good and mobilize. And by mobilizing, it's about making sure the joints of your body are kept open. And, you know, YouTube it. I'll put stuff on here, but this is just sort of like signposting you to lots of resources that are out there. And I'll be getting, hopefully be getting Steph Seckington on here. She can teach us some of this other stuff around strength and mobility. And coming up, I will be getting somebody who's a gut health expert that can help us understand what little tweaks we can put into our diet that can help our gut health. There's a lot of buzz around gut health at the moment, as there's more research and evidence to show that our gut is our second brain, and it has the same cells that can read information like some of our brain cells, but that lie in our gut. And so what small little changes can we do? Because ultimately my why around this isn't about having the body, it's about having the strong mind. Because my experience is that when my mind goes, my unmanageability goes, my emotions go all over the place, add hormones on there on top of it, and stress, and I'm not able to digest food properly, I'm not able to think properly, and that is one of the main reasons why I've started this group, is to start conversations up, particularly in the recovery community, around you know, how we can feel more full of vitality, more energy levels. So it's nice to see a couple of people on here, and anybody watching on replay, if you've got any comments, please let me know if there's areas that you want me to cover on here. And don't forget, I've got a breathwork thing on Monday, and it's free. Anybody wants to come along, the invite and the event is on my page, and it's at 7 o'clock and it's on Zoom. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want to. The reason why it's good for me is just to watch you. There'll be a little bit of mobility. It'll be very gentle. It's more about opening up the neck and the shoulders and the chest area, the areas that our respiratory tract and our lungs. We just need to open those up before breathing, and that can help you if you're. The theme is going to be on balance and those that are experiencing some anxiety. So it's going to be a really gentle practice. I'm going to try and keep it to an hour, and relaxation, a little bit of relaxation afterwards. But yes, I hope you are all well on this very, very windy day, if you're in this country, and if you're not, lucky you. Anyway, yeah, it's really lovely to see the engagement on the group, and I send you all loads of love for your weekend. Bye.